Hello and welcome to today's Talk of the Town. I'm Sandy Benson. We have a great show ahead for you, so sit back and relax. My first guest, Dr. Frank Barbieri, has practiced orthodontics in the Low Country for over 40 years. He has also been serving his patients in the area of dental sleep medicine. He joins us today after recently opening his new office at the Heritage Medical Center on Hilton Head to help patients to sleep well again. Dr. Barbieri, welcome back to the show. You have some exciting news for us over the last several weeks.
Yeah,
so first, you made a big change opening your own practice for the OSA, which is obstructive sleep apnea.
Correct.
And why did you do that, and where is it located?
Okay, I did that because my whole career has been one in wanting to help people change their lives. Obviously, orthodontics, and I see kids on the island now that I treated, they're bringing me their children. So it was always something I wanted to do that would change people's lives. And orthodontics certainly did that. But today, sleep apnea impacts so many people. And I've had so many people say to me how their lives really changed after they were treated. And I just always enjoyed that facet, and I decided, well, I think that's what I'm going to focus on right now.
And your new office location is at the Heritage Medical Center?
Yes, correct, on William Hinton Parkway.
Okay. And share briefly what obstructive sleep apnea is for those viewers who aren't really aware of its definition.
Okay. Obstructive sleep apnea is a situation where the airway closes down, totally collapses, and the air is shut off, and now the patient stops breathing for at least 10 seconds, sometimes 30 seconds or more. And this creates a whole cascade of problems that follow from that event. And those events happen many, many times per hour. So it's an additive process. The sleep isn't well. Now, most of the people will say, oh yeah, I slept all night, but the architecture of the sleep, or the pattern one should have in normal sleep, isn't there. So they're constantly going into what we call awakenings. I mean, you don't literally wake up necessarily and look at the ceiling and say, what woke me up? But you come up to such a light level of sleep before you get down into a sound sleep. And some people never get down into stages 3 and 4, which is considered the deep sleep.
How would they know that?
We do that by having the person have a sleep study, and that's measured. The thing that drives people often is associated with snoring, because snoring is a partial shutdown of the airway. And of course that doesn't affect the person who snores, but the bed partner gives them a jab in the ribs, or she in the ribs, or they sleep in separate bedrooms these days. Vis-a-vis all the 2-bedroom places at Sun City, right? So the motivation here is the driving force is the snoring, but that's very minor compared to the result when the airway totally collapses and there is no more oxygen getting into the person's system.
So congratulations. You received an appointment to the American Academy of Dental Sleep Medicine for the Education Committee. The annual conference was held just this past weekend in Boston. And so tell us a little bit more about that appointment.
It involves the setting up programs for the members so that they can get their continuing education, because things are evolving very, very quickly in the field right now, and to stay abreast. So we review the material that's going to be presented in courses, and we've also started what are called study clubs, where we have our members via a closed system. They don't have to go to a meeting place.
Right.
It's all on TV and how all the modern stuff works with those things. And this way they can keep up, and you can ask questions of the lecturer. So it's a very dynamic and progressive way to help them keep up with what's going on.
Right, and we talked a little bit about this little article in the USA Today, and so I mean, it's very prevalent. This lack of sleep increases certain risks, possibly stroke risks. I mean, it's really a big deal.
It is. It is. It's creeping into so many other areas of medicine right now. It's fancy word is called comorbidity. What it means is that along with whatever problem the patient may have, the apnea accelerates and intensifies those problems. So it's
not so much that it causes these problems, but it works in conjunction to make maybe the problems even worse.
Correct. The only one that has been directly linked right now are cardiovascular problems and stroke.
Okay.
Those have been directly linked to the apnea problem. As they stated in this article in USA Today, there was also a big study done just, I think, about within the last year, and the people had to have poor sleep 3 nights of the week, and they found that 100% of the people that died from a stroke had apnea.
Wow. So if people have questions about sleep apnea, if they have it, or what to look for, or they want to meet with you, how do they go about making an appointment, or just, you know, I guess maybe
Surely.
speaking to somebody in your staff?
Sure. They can call the office and I'll get an appointment, and we see them on a complimentary visit, and we'll review everything with them and discuss what we need to do to go forward. And then they can elect at that time whether or not they want to go forward and have the problem properly diagnosed.
Right. Dr. Barbieri, thank you. Great information, and sleep apnea is a big deal, and thank you for making us aware.
Thank you for having me, Sandy.
And we will be right back with Talk of the Town.